Alright, let's skip the intro and just get straight into it. The Dwarves of Thedas...
No, shut the fuck up. We have a title for the next game, Dragon Age Dreadwolf. And not only that, but the acronym is fucking DAD. And the developers are actively encouraging daddy jokes, and you're all falling for it, aren't you, you sick fuck? No, you shut up. While I was editing this goddamn video, they dropped another fucking announcement of Dragon Age Absolution. We're getting our own goddamn animated show about Dragon Age. My body can only handle so much, Bioware. What are you doing to me?
Sorry about him, he kinda goes crazy when we get news about Dragon Age. Where was I? I'm gonna give you some examples of traits that the Dragon Age Dwarves exhibit, and you let me know when you get stereotype bingo, okay? They're short and stocky, they live in the mountains, bonus points for being underground. They're really good at being smiths and crafters, they have magnificent beards, they love mining minerals, they enjoy stonework, they drink a lot, and they're looked down upon by the other races. One stereotype they don't have is they don't speak with a Scottish accent, which I always found a little bit weird. Like, why is that the stereotype for dwarves to speak with a Scottish accent? I've met Scottish people. My first thought isn't, wow, you're really short, almost like a dwarf buddy. It's usually, hey, have you started day drinking yet? Anyway, I'm getting off topic. The dwarves in the Dragon Age series live in massive underground stone cities connected to each other through underground highways known as deep roads. Or at least they used to. See, when the Darkspawn first appeared, they did so in the Deep Roads, which means that the Dwarven cities were hounded by their soldiers before the First Blight. And even after the First Blight was finished, there were still legions and legions of Darkspawn soldiers that were hounding the capital cities. And besides the Grey Wardens, no one decided to help the Dwarves, which kind of contributed to their downfall. Hey, do you hear something? No. Hey, you want to go enslave some elves? Oh, hell yeah! At the start of the series in Dragon Age Origins, there are only two Dwarven cities left, Orzammar and Kal-Sharok. And I bet you're wondering, why didn't they just leave the underground to avoid the Darkspawn? And I'll answer that in two parts. First of all, the dwarves worship the stone. Worship the stone? That doesn't make any fucking... They believe that the stone that surrounds them is actually alive and that they are the stone's children, so to leave during the blights would be to abandon the stone, and at the time they wouldn't allow that to happen. Second reason is that if a dwarf does leave the safety of their city and go above ground, they are branded as a surfacer, and they are never allowed to re-enter the city, basically being banished from their homeland. There are some exceptions to this rule that apply to like traders, merchants, and nobles, but for a majority of dwarves, it's just banishment from your homeland. There is also another reason in that some dwarves can be very superstitious, and they genuinely believe that if they were to go outside, they would just fall up into the sky. So what is life like in modern day Orzammar? Well, to be honest, it's pretty fucking horrible. The population is split into two groups, the caste and the casteless. Think of a caste as more of a noble house, and that might help you going forward. If you're casteless, you're worth about as much as dirt and have about the same amount of rights. You can't work for a caste, you can't live in the same area as the caste, and you can't even fight in tournaments to earn honor. If you're seeing some similarities between casteless and city elves, you're not alone. It just seems like there are a lot of arseholes in the Dragon Age universe. Also, like I mentioned before, if you leave the dwarven city of Orzammar and become a surfacer, even if you were to get back in, you would be branded as a casteless, so there's no point in going back to where you came from. The casteless are usually branded with a mark to show everyone around them what they are, and it leads to them living pretty fucking horrible lives, either becoming a criminal or trying to sleep with a member of a caste just to survive. The casteless will usually do this because if a child is actually conceived when they, well, you know, then that child will become a member of the caste, and the parent will actually be brought in to help raise the child. They won't become a member of the caste, but they'll at least live a better life than they used to. The castes usually allow this because the dwarves have the lowest fertility rate in all of Thedas. Compared to humans, it's 100 to 1, and this is because of centuries of fighting with the Darkspawn and living underground. Also, I've said caste so many times that the word's gone weird on me now. Caste. The Darkspawn are a constant threat for the Kingdom of Orzammar, but they don't have the option to cut themselves off from the Deep Roads. The Kingdom of Orzammar relies on trade with the surface to keep things going on a day-to-day basis, and their biggest source of income is a mineral known as lyrium. I'll get to lyrium in a different video, but basically it makes magic more potent, and the dwarves can mine this safely. Well, safer than everyone else at least, because the dwarves cannot use magic in any capacity. Seriously, if you try to play as a mage, as a dwarf in Dragon Age Origins or Inquisition, the option will just not be available to you. They usually compensate you a bit by giving you magic resistance, but I would gladly give that up in a heartbeat for the ability to throw a fireball at my fucking ally. I mean enemies. Anyway, to ensure that the dwarves can mine lyrium safely, they do of course have an army, but they don't usually waste their soldiers' lives pushing back the Horde. That honor goes to a branch of the military known as the Legion of the Dead, and I fucking love the idea behind this group, because they are a bunch of dwarves from any walk of life, casteless included, that celebrate their own fucking funerals before they join, and the moment they step into the Deep Roads, by all intents and purposes, they are fucking dead to everyone. Seriously, the royal court thinks they're dead. Their friends and family think they're dead, they think they're dead, so they just decide to push against the Darkspawn as hard as they can, and they decide, fuck it, doesn't matter if we get injured because we're already dead, so they just keep going until their body eventually gives out.
He's so goddamn cool!
This is helped by underground dwarves having something known as a stone sense, which means they can sense upcoming passages and the layout of upcoming tunnels, which would have been a really useful feature in Dragon Age Origins, because look at this fucking map and tell me there's a god. The dwarves don't just worship the stone either, they also worship their ancestors to a certain extent, and when a dwarf does something incredibly noteworthy, they are known as a paragon. What is noteworthy is kinda hard to pin down, because it can range from anywhere from making day-to-day life easier to just brewing a really strong fucking ale. A paragon is regarded as a living ancestor, and even the castless can be awarded this title. They are seen as the elite of the dwarven species and are usually sought out for advice and guidance. Now that we've seen dwarven paragons, we just need to wait for BioWare to show us dwarven renegades, am I right? Fuck. Now I haven't talked much about surface dwarves, and that's because there's not that much to talk about. They usually assimilate with human society and become merchants, smiths, or in the most common case, fucking bandits. So that's dwarves for you, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the dwarves of Tevinter are like. So with that, I'm looking forward to the release of Dragon Age Dreadwolf. I mean Dragon Age Dreadwolf. For dads. The next video is going to be on the second horniest thing in the Dragon Age universe, right behind the community at large. And I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be fucking difficult, because writing about the race and the religion as two separate things is gonna be a fucking nightmare. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.